Good evening. You are welcome to our today's series on farm to market. Please let's give people a few minutes to join us.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry for coming quite late. I'm actually having some little issue with
Yeah, so please.
my network.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
please. Yeah, it's a bit better now.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Can we just comment?
You're all welcome to today's series of our farm. Yeah, you're all welcome to today's series of our farm to market. Farm to market is a series anchored by Agricincome Hub. Agricincome Hub is an information platform that seeks to engage the agricultural community with up-to-date information and trends in the agricultural sector. So on episode tonight, we'll be having Mr. Azeez Salawu, is the West African Regional Coordinator for Climate Smart Agricultural Youth Network and also the Executive Director for Community Action on Food Security Initiative, and is also the convener for Food Security Future Summit. So we'll be talking to us about actionable steps and pathways to achieve food security. Because at Agricincome, we believe that achieving zero hunger is everyone's business. We should not leave food security to a particular set of people. And we believe everyone has a role to play, whether you're a farmer or you are not. In as much as you eat, you also have a role to play. So in a few minutes, our resource person will be talking to us. And please, if you have questions for him, let's try and drop it in the comment section so I can attend to him. Mr. Azeez, we are so glad to have you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You have the floor. Yes, sir.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, moderator, for the kind introduction. My name is Azeez Salawu, as we have rightly introduced. I'm happy to join you this evening on the series of Farm to Market. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can I hear you, sir?
All right. So Farm to Market. So I'll be speaking about our pathways to achieving food security. So first of all, so I'm very sure we all know that food security is actually a state of having reliable access to sufficient quantity of affordable and nutritious food. So in layman language, it is also a measure of availability of food and individuals' ability to access it. So some quick facts: 3.7 million people across 16 states are food insecure. Factors affecting them or causing this issue includes conflicts, civil conflicts, large-scale displacement, rising food prices, degradation and poverty, including population growth. These are factors affecting a whole lot of affecting our food security, especially in the rural community. Also, according to the 2017 Global Hunger Index, Nigeria is ranked 84th out of the 19 countries, facing hunger in the world. So it's actually a big challenge. So I'm talking about farm to market. So now we are all doing a whole lot of things around agricultural value chain. And actually, value addition is actually the way to go. So if a person is food secure, it typically means that the person has sufficient quality of food available and also have enough resources, to buy food for a nutritious diet and have stable access to adequate food at all time. So our value chain is actually the new gold is actually the new goal. So there are actually various value chain we can actually key into, especially in this period where we are having crises and challenges around our food system in Nigeria. So value chain resides at the core high impact and sustainable initiative focused on improving productivity, competitiveness and growth of the SMEs. Yeah, SMEs especially, because I think our focus on community action for food security and also our climate smart agriculture, our youth network is on small scale farmers, especially youth and women. And value chain actually shows the line between the steps a product takes from the farmer till it gets to the final consumption. And there are actually various value chain activity you can actually key into from farm till it gets to consumption. So for example, you can just build your capacity in research and development. You can be an input supplier, you can be a processor, you can key into marketing, you can also key into finance, de-risking agriculture, and you can also focus on extension work and policy advocacy. So these are value chain we can actually key into. So for us, what we basically do and mostly do with the younger generation, because we also try to catch them young, what we do is to make sure that we actually bring about a kind of mindset culture in a new way and dimension. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
Yeah. So I would like to touch a bit on the various value chain sector I've actually mentioned, talking about research and development. So for a young person or anybody that actually what we do is to tell them that you don't actually be on the field to call yourself a farmer, keying into various value chain of agriculture. So research and development, we have a whole lot of institutions, both international and local and national institutions, doing a whole lot of amazing innovation, day by day in the agricultural space. So they do a lot of research. So maybe 10, 15 years back now, up to this moment, they are now adding development to it. So when the research institutes actually came on board around 1960, 1917 and thereabout, they only do bring out innovations, purely research. But now we now have a lot of institutions, for example, IITA, doing research for development. Now, there are a lot of research, so one thing is for you to do or come up with research, a new innovation. Another thing is for the innovation, to get to the main people or to the people that actually, need it. Aside from people that needs it, it's for you to get to the people, especially rural communities, small-scale farmers, and also marginalized people. So you can actually, build your capacity, build your skills in research and development. You can, leveraging on various researches the international and local institutions are actually doing. And it's my interest to know that Nigerian institutes, national institutes, both for cereal, root crops and some tuber, a lot of them are actually doing amazing. They are doing a lot with support from the international research institutes around. It's actually a very strong collaborative effort. So you can also key into it and pass information, research information to people that actually need it. Research institute cannot do it alone. So that is one you can actually key into. Another one is input supply. You can register with National Agricultural Seed Council to be a seed entrepreneur. You can start supplying inputs. You can partner with seed companies, agro inputs dealers, to supply inputs. All these inputs, are actually very, very important and necessary, for production or to take place. So it is actually very important. So you can be an input supplier. You can have a shop where is a one-stop shop for anything, even in your community. So everybody knows that yes, when we need this, we'll go to this person for it, and from there you get a lot of good things, because all these things come with their advantages. So another one is production. You can decide to go into production, full production, because all these value chains, they actually work hand in hand. You can't actually do one without one. So if you are going into production, you have someone that does input supply, you have someone in the research and development space. You guys can collaborate and do things together. And when it comes to production, so now it is now actually very, 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 very technical, and kind of tricky, because now a lot of factors are now affecting our production. The first and the most germane one is this issue of climate change that adversely affects production. So now farmers does not actually know when the right time to plant, the right time to do this, and the right time to do that. So production is actually, very, very, is actually good specialists that could guide you, and from there you can do it yourself. The old methods are now being replaced by new technologies. We now have technologies that actually make production very, very easy these days. So you can key into production. Then we have processing. Processing goes along with packaging, and that is actually another value addition. So if you have some people maybe producing maybe cassava or maize, you can start processing and adding value to it. If you go to modern day malls like ShopRite and the likes, you see a lot of packaged products. They've been processed and they are being packaged, and it comes with higher value purchase, because when you see a packaged apple, or maybe frozen fish, you actually prefer it to the ones you get around the open space where flies have infested on them. So processing and packaging is actually a very lucrative agricultural value chain we can actually key into, and it comes with a lot of good things. So, and also marketing, you can decide to be a marketer. You can start linking produce to the people that actually needs it. For example, late last year we were still looking for some tonnage of paddy for people that actually needs them. Talking about grain, you can start marketing grains. You can start to market even the seeds itself. You just make sure that you are dealing with the right people, because when it comes to seedling or seed production, it's quite different from grain production. So do you know the one you want to go for, and you actually get to know more about it before you venture into it, because the seed is quite different from the grain, and a lot of people tend to mix it together. So, but then if you are going to be a seed marketer, you should know the rudiments, talking about the different classes of seeds: foundation, breeders, certified seeds, and the farmer seed. You should know all those things. It is actually very, very important. When you're talking about grains, yeah, okay, you know that, yeah, that is just a normal normal thing. So when you are doing that, there are a lot of linkages. You can walk into the National Agricultural Seed Council. They now have a very well structured packages for seed entrepreneurs. So these are ways to curb excesses that are being done around the food the seed industry. So it's actually very, very important. Then another one is finance, which is actually the very tricky one. So for you to key into agri-finance, so for example, a lot of government agencies have been trying to de-risk agricultural risk through their various loans package and also some grants package. Also, Smedan is also looking at how they can bring in farmers to add value to their products, and they are willing to support the farmers to an extent. So you can be a finance person, but then it has to be done locally. You have to know the people you are actually maybe the grower scheme. The outgrower scheme is a scheme that has been working. So it's a institution whereby you bring the farmers together, probably into a cluster. You provide seeds for them. You provide inputs and a lot of things, guidance too, on the new technologies that they can use. And you be rest assured that there is actually a market for them immediately they're actually harvesting their produce. So it's actually another way to go. Another one is policy advocacy. You can do there are a lot of we've been doing a lot of policy advocacy, around our policy. So when we talk about policy, there is need for a total structural change in our policy, and we actually won't relent because it's what a lot of people have been doing, and it's actually very, 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 very germane, because without policy, a whole lot of things would not be put together in shape. So policy is actually very, very important. You can start be an advocate. We now have tools, social media tools. You can be on Twitter. You can use your Facebook. You can use your LinkedIn. You can use even your Instagram. Just for your voice to be heard, and the hashtag is there. So when you use an hashtag today, in the next 5 years, search for the same hashtag worldwide, you are still going to get it. So we need to keep engaging our policymakers. We need to keep both at the local, national, and international level. Yeah, talking about the international level, we have a lot of bodies, guiding. Talking about the ECOWAS, the AU, the NEPAD. A lot of things need to be done, and these policies now has to be tailored specifically to the various communities, that actually needs it. So we need to be very strategic, and implementation is actually very, very key. Out of the policies that have been coming from since the Operation Feed the Nation time, the only one that has been quite sustainable is the ADP, the Agri Development Projects, where we have different states with their ADPs, and I think it's actually a very good one. We have a lot of policy frameworks, a lot of documents that are not being implemented. All these. If we can start looking holistically at all these policies, I'm very sure our food system will start taking a positive shape, because that is just what we need globally, internationally, locally, and nationally. We need to be upright, and we need to be very intentional with what we are doing. So, there are some ways that we can actually use to improve on our agricultural value chain development. So we're talking about a focus. There has to be a shift in agri production to consumer demand, which tends to leads to coordination of products flow from producers to consumer. The unavailability of funds by SME is also a challenge. Agribusiness process is actually extremely difficult as consumers now want safe, high value, and varied agri produce or products. And this is creating opportunities for small scale farmers and agribusiness owners, along the agricultural value chain to transform commodities into high value products, leading to poverty reduction and economic expansion. There's also need for internal and external support for the agricultural value chain, which is important for agricultural development, not only in Nigeria, in West Africa, and in the worldwide. Also, we need to start adopting approaches to policy, regulatory and institutional reform, to remove constraints to the development of our agricultural value chain. The various regulatory bodies and institutions in Nigeria needs to be on their feet. So when we produce and want to add value, okay, we process and package. Are the NAFDAC and SON ready to, certified what we are doing? Are they ready for exports? So all these things need to be put in place. And also we need to identify infrastructure requirement for development of agricultural value chain and also develop models, including the ones that suits or that fit into the poor and marginalized group in them to broaden and also revolutionize the sector. We also need to adopt programs with singular objectives of developing specific commodity value chain, one value chain at a time. So this would actually work or visible if each state is actually known for one agricultural product or another. So, for example, now in Benue State, where we have a lot of cassava and a lot of oranges, it is being tagged the food basket of the nation. Can we start, developing a specific commodity value chain in that state, while Oyo picks the one they can actually key into and build the specific commodity value chain for that particular, each state with their specific produce. Can they start building a very structured commodity value chain around what they produce a lot in that state? From there, it will help to identify and remove all major constraints to achieving competitiveness and also ensure that equitable returns for producers and those who operate in that particular value chain, within the local and export food industry. So that's to really help us to improve our food system, thereby increasing or getting rid of food insecurity in Nigeria. So lastly, I would want us to know that it's actually a collective responsibility. The government cannot do it alone. We as citizens also, as partners in progress, we can work together, to achieve the desirable and sustainable food system.
Also, please, sir, can you just help us with your conclusion again? Let's take it from there, sir.
Yeah, so going forward, we need to work strategically together. Like I said, the government cannot do it alone. It's required collective effort because it's actually a collective responsibility. We really want to achieve a whole lot of things, especially in this COVID-19 period, as we adapt and adjust the new normal. All hands must be on deck. Everybody must be involved, except you don't eat every day. So it's not a matter of maybe you are a doctor or you are a mechanic or you're an engineer. Everybody eats. So food is everyone's business. We need to really get involved. The earlier we get involved, the better for every one of us. I strongly believe that together we can actually achieve more. So everybody must get involved. Everybody must get involved. Thank you so much. And I also want to commend you on your recent magazine. It's actually very educating and it's well packed with a whole lot of industry players, in the food sector, in the plant animal sector, even policy stakeholders. It's well packed. I want to encourage every one of us to actually, get a copy to the team and. Partnership is the new oil. Goal 17 partnership for sustainable development is actually very, very important. So I want every one of us to be involved. Like I said, it's a moving train. The earlier you join, the better. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate. We really can't see a privilege for us to have you, sir. So please, if you have any question for him, please let's drop it in the comment section so that he can attend to them before he goes.
All right, no problem. Thank you.
Also, let me just, for people that are not here when we started, let me just give us a recap of what we have been discussing earlier. We actually talked about how food security is actually everybody's business, whether you're a farmer or not, since we all eat. And if you don't have a food secure world, it will actually affect everyone. And you don't actually have to be a farmer for you to key into. Like I said, everybody can be a farmer and not everybody can be on the farm. We have lots of opportunities along the agricultural value chain. We have production, we have marketing, we have finance, we have input suppliers, we have policy makers and every other thing. There is a way for us to actually key into one or two of these. And to me, I used to say that if you are not bringing anything unique to the table, joining the production niche is very saturated. The production niche is very saturated now. So if you are not bringing anything unique to the table, it's just as if you are not doing anything. We have some untapped value chain some untapped agricultural value chain like marketing. We have lots of farmers now that have products, they don't know where to sell them to. And also the issue of value addition, we discovered that more than 60% of what is produced is being destroyed on the farm through post-harvest losses. So they actually need people to come along this line to look for innovations to actually see that we'll try and curb post-harvest losses. These are one of the keys for us to actually have a food secure world. So food secure world is actually everyone's business, not to a particular set of people. Thanks so much, sir, for the knowledge drop so far. We appreciate you. I don't think we have questions, and if at all we have any, we can send them through mail and we help us answer and send it back to us, sir.
No problem.
So on behalf of Agricincome team, we'll say a very big thank you to you. We really appreciate you for coming around. Thank you very much, sir. And have a good day, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, let's continue the conversation.